Hey all, Bree from the No Guilt Mom podcast, and I have got a gift for you this holiday season. If you love the No Guilt Mom podcast, and I mean love the No Guilt Mom podcast, then tell us about it. Leave us a review, and you can be entered to win a No Guilt Mom gift card. All you have to do is leave a review, take a screenshot, and then simply go to noguiltmom.com/review to enter our giveaway for a free No Guilt Mom gift card, simply for telling us what you think about the podcast. It is amazing. But don't delay. Get right on this, as we're going to be giving away that No Guilt Mom gift card on December 21st. So get right on over and visit noguiltmom.com/review.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I am your host, Joanne Crone, and I am joined here by my delightful co-host, Bree Tucker.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
We are back to school started, Bree.
Yeah.
I don't know about all of you out there, but my kids are back in virtual learning. The district has shut down in-person classes for 2 weeks because Arizona's COVID rates are through the roof.
Yeah, we're number one.
We're number one. No, we should not be proud of that.
Yeah.
When you're in this situation, I feel like the best way to deal with it is with humor. And so the more you can laugh, the better you will survive. And that's
I think that's honestly the motto for the last year, right? It's just like, trust me, the laughing is not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
It's just the way to deal with the stress of it, the constant stress.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
It's a coping mechanism.
Okay, let's find something good to kind of find some humor in this somehow.
Exactly. So if your kids are here and if they're in virtual learning or if they're in person, one thing probably plagues you, and that's their homework and schoolwork.
I know, right? Because no matter what format you have going on, that doesn't go away. I think a lot of us, when we hear homework, we think of the traditional homework. When our kids are in school, they're in-person learning, which is so funny because like in-person learning, not even a phrase we used
I know. Like, who would have thought that we'd have described school as in-person learning?
Right. Until honestly, like not even in March, it wasn't like considered in-person learning. I don't think like we didn't have that keyword until the fall of this past year. But anyways, I digress. Homework we think about as the thing that gets sent home that our children do after they get out of their in-person learning. And so it's taken on this whole new persona per se for kids that are doing the virtual learning too, because so sometimes when we say homework, parents are like, oh, my kid doesn't have homework anymore.
But it's really all schoolwork.
It
and
is
all assignments that they do at home.
Yes, 100%.
So today we are going to tackle that question that I know I get a lot. What is the right amount of homework? Because, oh my gosh, I hear these stories. Like one of my friends, she had a child who was a first grader at the time, and they were spending 2 hours a night on homework. Like it took over their entire evening. This little 6-year-old.
Not okay.
Not okay.
Totally not okay.
And as a parent, you're afraid to push back against the teacher because you think in your head, like, all these other families are to have it under control and are doing this homework, and she's not hearing any complaints from anyone else. So, of course, this must be normal. It's not normal. We're going to dig into that today, and we're going to tell you exactly what you can do to take that homework stress out of your life. Are you ready to make homework your kid's responsibility instead of yours? This episode is brought to you by the Drama-Free Homework Checklist. In it, you'll discover the 4 simple steps to encourage your child to take ownership of their homework. Get it at noguiltmom.com/DFH. That stands for Drama-Free Homework, DFH-checklist, or follow the link in the show notes.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast.
Okay, let's get into this, Bree. So, this is something that causes me so much anxiety when I talk to parents about this, because they'll say like, yeah, we came home and then we had like dance practice and then we had soccer practice. We're talking normal times here. Or we came home and we still had to sit down and do this gigantic spelling packet or do like 20 questions worth of math. And my kid was crying and I was ready to cry and I just don't know what we can do. We hate homework.
Oh yeah. And I think I think every parent has been through that at some point in time or another. What gets rough is when you're just at a loss on how to help them. And again, like you feel alone because you're like, is it just my kid?
Yeah.
Does my kid just not get it? And then you get to the point too where I'm already there, where my child has surpassed my natural ability to help them with their homework.
Mm-hmm.
My son has already kicked my butt in math skills. He is beyond my help. So he knows when he comes to me, I get stressed out because
A lot of people feel that way
"Oh,
about
no."
math.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that cause us as parents stress. And you being a former teacher, we've had so many conversations about this, how it's not meant to cause stress.
It's not meant to cause as much stress as it does.
And it helps to hear that.
Yeah.
It really does.
It does, because we feel like we're all alone. And let me just tell you, you are not alone. If you are feeling the stress from homework, there is something going on. And I want you, as you listen to this episode, take note of these 4 things. And if one of them is happening to you, take action on it. We're going to give you some really concrete action steps you can do right away. So let's get into it.
All right.
Okay, so the first thing, if you are feeling like homework is too much, look at the time it takes. So most districts follow the PTA's guidelines. They put out a set of guidelines that say that an appropriate amount of homework for kids is 10 minutes per grade level.
Oh, well, right there, that gets shot out of the water by a lot of times.
Yeah,
right?
so like kindergarten, first grade, they should have 10 minutes of homework a night, not 2 hours. Second graders should have 20, third graders should have 30, and so on until you get to about like high school, and then it becomes a bit fuzzy because they're getting into like more subject material.
Right, more critical thinking, so that would automatically have like different amounts of time.
Yes.
But one thing that was really interesting that you had shared when we were talking about this whole PTA recommendation, that the 10 minutes includes the required reading.
It includes required reading. So when I was a 5th grade teacher, our district said that, okay, you need to have 50 minutes of homework, because I taught 5th grade, 50 minutes of homework each night, and that includes 30 minutes of self-reading. So really, it should have been only 20 minutes of schoolwork in there.
Right, which I can't even think of the last time that my kid had 20 minutes of homework when, yeah, no, even in 5th grade. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so it gets a little fuzzy because kids, they need balance in their life. They need to be able to play. And if you hear that and you're like, oh my gosh, 10 minutes of homework per grade level, that's totally doable.
Right.
That is actually what is suggested. Now, many districts, like I said, mine did, they have a homework policy. And you can find this homework policy in their student manual or the parent manual that they give out at the first day of school. So if you feel like it's going longer than that, first look at that homework policy. See what the district recommends or what the school recommends. And then second, talk to the teacher. Tell them. Just tell them. Like, you're not placing blame when you talk to the teacher. You're not being a complainer when you talk to the teacher. You just say, hey, we're coming home from school and it's taking us 2 hours to get the homework done. Is this what you expect to happen?
Okay, so I'm going to stop you right there. I love how you said that because I think a lot of times we're frustrated as parents and it's taking forever. My kid is getting mad and now all of a sudden isn't liking school or starting to move in that realm of like, oh, I don't want to go to school. I hate school, blah, blah, blah. And when you hear that it's only supposed to be 10 minutes and your child is taking an hour to get it done at home, I think a lot of parents, we immediately jump to the teacher's doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So when I would reach out to write to that teacher, then I would need to take a step back and calm down and say, from the objective point of view, I'm not saying that the teacher's doing anything wrong. I'm not saying my kid isn't smart enough. What I'm saying is what you just said, just the facts. When you reach out to the teacher, just share the facts. It is taking this long to get homework done. Is this what you expected?
Yeah. I like to look at it as like an outside observer. So if someone came in who didn't know your family, who didn't know your kids, who didn't know the teacher, if they could come in and they could hear what you say and they're like, yep, check, that definitely happened, then you have it right. So if you say, you know what, I can't believe you would assign this much homework each night. This is totally irresponsible. An outside observer can't come in and be like, is this teacher irresponsible? don't know about that.
Right.
So
And not knowing the situation. Like, and I think that also puts you on the defensive, right? If someone called me a name or insulted me, I immediately stop listening with that open mind and start going to, this person's attacking me.
Yes.
I need to either diffuse the person or start defending myself. Either way, you have lost my full attention.
Yes.
And you have lost my ability. It has made it where I'm less likely to listen to you and to meet you in the middle.
Yeah.
Because now I'm on the defense.
And you're not focused on solving the problem anymore. You're focused on really keeping care of your own ego.
Right. Right. So
Which
like
happens.
just the tone. So like look at the time, reach out to the teacher if it's more than what's recommended, but be objective.
Yes. Be objective.
Be objective.
Oh my
gosh, you both did that.
I don't know why. I don't know
So
why.
sorry,
Oh, it's the be aggressive. It followed the same rhythm. Be aggressive. Be. Yeah, that wasn't planned.
Oh goodness. Oh,
I was
okay.
not a cheerleader, by the way.
Woo, neither was I. Neither was I.
I've learned everything about cheerleading from Bring It On.
Like, I think we all learned a lot from Bring It On.
Yeah, that's it.
I digress. That's a whole nother episode.
Now I want to sing the Toros. Okay, here we go. Focus. So we talked about looking at the time. The second thing is you shouldn't have to reteach.
Oh, that's a big one because I feel like a lot of times I was reteaching when my kids were in elementary school.
Yep, you should not have to reteach because appropriate homework asks kids to use a skill they've already learned and I don't want to say mastered because homework really is to practice that skill, but they've grasped enough that they can look at the work they did in class and then practice that skill during homework. So it doesn't mean that you are going on YouTube and you are finding videos on how to teach the skill or that you are going and researching like this new Common Core method and learning it yourself. It doesn't mean that. You do not need to do that. I take that responsibility away from you right now. No longer your job.
I take it away.
I take it away. No longer your job. Because also the teacher doesn't want you to reteach. They taught in a specific way. And when we start saying things different ways to kids, instead of keeping like the same vocabulary and having the same steps, it really confuses them. So when they're learning something the first time, it is good just to base their knowledge on the teacher's instruction and see how they do with that focus. Then if something doesn't work out later, well, that's another conversation. But you do not need to reteach what the teacher taught in class.
Okay, so that brings me to an experience I had with my daughter when she was in, I don't know, second grade maybe. And I'm going to roll this out to you, and then I would love your feedback because I feel like other parents were probably in my shoes.
Yes.
So second grade, my daughter started just struggling a lot in math. Had lots and lots of problems with her math homework. She'd come home, I don't know how to do it. So we would look back on the homework because the homework always had references back to other examples where the book went through step by step and explained the problem. We would try to go back to those examples. She would have a very hard time and just didn't seem to understand it. So in our case, I was able to locate a private tutor that was able to come to our house and help my daughter for a little while. And after the very first session, the private tutor was like, your daughter understands it. And I'm like, no. She takes 2 hours to get her homework done. And when we go back to it, she doesn't understand it. She's like, no, she does. She just doesn't believe in herself. And she keeps second guessing everything. So it's easier for her to say to you, no, I don't understand that math problem than to say to you, I don't think I did it right. So it took us not a few weeks, actually. I think like maybe 2 months of tutoring to get her to the point where she had that confidence. We moved forward. But my point of that was I felt like I was reteaching, and she was implying that my daughter was implying that I needed a reteacher because she would say, I didn't learn that. I don't understand that. So how do parents understand? And I'm so sorry. I hope I'm not like dumping too much into this, but like I
love
want to
it.
know.
I love it.
For those parents that are in that spot where you're like, well, I am reteaching because my kid doesn't get it. How do you know the difference between they learned it in class and they're just not, you're not having to reteach because they do know it.
Yeah.
So how do you figure that out?
Well, I mean, you did exactly the right thing because you thought, outside help. Like, did you go to the teacher too?
I did. And the teacher even said to me, and this is the funny part, she was like, no, she gets it.
She gets
it.
Yeah.
She just doesn't have the confidence. And I'm like, no, she doesn't. Nobody's getting it but me. So then I went and got the tutor, and the tutor said the same thing. Once you have like 3 people telling you, because my ex-husband too at the time was like, no, she probably gets it. She's just, playing you. You're finally like, okay.
I don't think she was playing you. I don't think it was a conscious thing that she was doing.
Like, coming back to it, looking back at things, it was definitely a matter of her not feeling like she didn't have that self-confidence.
Yep. Okay. So question for you.
Okay.
How confident are you in math?
Not very confident.
So sometimes as parents, our own I want to say like disbelief in ourselves and our abilities, especially the parts where we don't feel like we have it and we grasp it, we can unknowingly transfer that onto our kids. Not saying that our kids are like, will have that same thing as well, but we see a situation and automatically we think, oh my gosh, they have the same problem I did. I don't understand math. They must not understand math. And so like jumping to that conclusion instead of listening to all the people saying around you that, it is a confidence issue and all she needs to do is bring up her confidence.
You're right. It probably was. I know I do that a lot. I take my own narrative and I put it on my kids.
But I mean, everybody does that. I think everybody does that. So in that situation, I mean, you saw outside help and they told you the same thing and you're like, oh, okay. And so that's usually just what we do. You pick a direction and go for it. But now hearing this and knowing that you don't need to reteach it, would that affect your decisions then?
Had I gone back in time and known this?
Yeah.
I think to some degree it did, because I was like, I shouldn't be reteaching this to her. If she doesn't get it, and the teacher says like there's nothing else that I can and or should do in class. Now, granted, that's not how the teacher said it. She had a much better way of it. Then I was like, okay, we'll have to seek outside help. And it took that many people to tell me that. But I think that's a really good, I think that was a really, really good point. I did realize right then and there that I shouldn't have to reteach. And that I felt like I was being asked to reteach it. Okay, you got it.
Yeah. So you should not need to reteach. So if you feel like you need to reteach, there might be something else going on. And again, it's a great time to bring it up with the teacher. And all you do, you're very objective, being like, hi, like she's coming home and she's telling me I don't know how to do it. How should I respond? Or how do you suggest I respond?
And I think that would have been a way more helpful thing. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Everyone out there is experiencing the same drama about homework, and we're here to take it off your plate.
We'll be right back after a quick break. We're hitting that time of year where my brain gets so overloaded in December that I look for anything to make life easier. And I have to say, Brie, that Green Chef is one of those services.
Yes, Green Chef is there to take away the dreaded, oh my goodness, what are we going to eat for dinner tonight? You can eat clean all holiday long with over 80 weekly meal options each week, featuring things like quick and easy, protein-packed, calorie-smart, or my personal favorite, the keto options.
And you don't have to lose track of healthy eating habits during the holidays, because every Green Chef customer gets a free session with one of their registered dietitians who can walk you through how to make clean eating work for you, which is very cool.
And I have to say that I have been loving their recipes lately. They put things together I have never thought of. This week, we're trying the lemon basil caper pork with sauteed cauliflower, bell peppers, almonds, and feta cheese, my favorite. Their recipes make it so easy to support my wellness goals without skipping on flavor.
For Green Chef's best deal of the year, get $250 off with code NGM250 at greenchef.com/NGM250. That's greenchef.com/NGM250. And don't forget to use that code NGM250 to get $250 off.
Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
This message is sponsored by Greenlight. It is so hard to raise kids who know how to manage money. Brie, right now, my kids are all about earning money for presents. My daughter wants to get presents for all of her friends, and my son is doing a Secret Santa with his friends.
Oh, I hear you. And if you're looking to raise kids that are financially responsible, we have got a lifesaver recommendation for you that you need to check out. It is Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app made for families that gives kids and teens an easy and fun way to gain financial literacy all while giving parents peace of mind.
You can send instant money transfers, automate allowance, and even keep an eye on kids' spending with real-time notifications. Meanwhile, your kids can begin their journey towards financial autonomy by learning how to save, invest, and spend wisely.
So sign up for Greenlight today and get your first month free when you go to greenlight.com/NGM.
That's greenlight.com/NGM to try Greenlight for free. Greenlight.com/NGM.
Yes. So number 3,
Number 3, you look at the task for homework. And when I say look at the task, you need to ask yourself, is this busy work or are they practicing a valuable skill? Because I have to tell you, as a former teacher, teachers make mistakes. Like they make mistakes. For instance, my class, they were having a horrible time with spelling tests. And it was like this district mandated thing. Like you have to give a spelling test every week. Even though in your gut of guts, you're like, this isn't working for my kids. They are not learning how to spell via this. Like,
Right.
I don't even know how to make this work. So sometimes instead of looking at the actual value of a task, like saying like, are spelling lit tests really the most valuable thing like we could be doing with our class time?
right.
Teachers look for a way to complete the task that may not be valuable in the first place. So in my instance with my 5th grade team, we created this monster spelling packet where this 20 spelling words were listed on the side. On the first page of the packet, you would have to write each spelling word 5 times, guys. We said 5 times. I mean,
Repetition. That's what you were thinking, right?
but I mean, if you had 5,
Yeah.
you had to write spelling
It's
words
100.
5 times. That's 100.
Right.
I would be like, school's horrible.
I know that is a lot of writing. My hand would hurt.
And that was just the first page of our dreaded packet, because then we'd have it, okay, now you have to like break them into syllables, and now you have to pick 5 and write them in sentences. It was the most worthless use of time ever, looking back on it.
And you know what's funny? Hearing you describe this is every spelling packet my kids have gotten.
It was
The
so
whole time they were
worthless.
in elementary school. Like this was the same thing, just in different ways and versions.
And the only thing that stopped us from doing that is we met with our school's academic coaches once a week. Like every team met with the academic coaches and described what we were doing. And the math coach, Judy, she's like, how would you feel if you got this packet? And I'm like, I feel pretty bad, Judy. She's like, so why are we giving this? And I mean, that really kind of broke the spell to be like, we're giving this as busy work and it's
Yeah.
not helping the kids whatsoever.
So what did you guys do instead?
We just took away the packet and we took the emphasis off spelling and more on actual skills that boost reading, like teaching syllables and word segments and letter sounds and that sort of thing. And
Wow.
and that helped. And
Yeah.
the spelling packet did not help. It did not help.
That would be the example of over the 10 minutes a night
It
and
is.
just being the
So teachers make mistakes. So if you feel like something is busy work, it's very hard to approach a teacher on this because they
they take it
they're
personally.
defensive and they take it
possibly.
personally.
'Cause it was their
I know.
right? Because their heart's in the right
The
place when they
heart
do
is
it.
there. Yes, the heart is there.
Yeah.
I would again just focus on the time. Be like, hey, this is taking an hour each night. What do you suggest we do? And
Right.
that's it. And keep having that discussion and say like, oh, he really does not like to do a spelling packet. Like he's ripped off pages and thrown them against the wall. And just describe what your kid does when they have to like do this task to the teacher. And the teacher is going to see, or they're going to give you a really good reason that they have it. And you'll be like, oh, okay, I see the reasoning behind that. Got it.
But I really like what you just said. I think a lot of us as parents, we kind of have our children's meltdowns as this shameful thing or something that we hide back and we don't tell everybody that our kid's having this meltdown because we feel like it reflects badly upon our parenting. But if you don't give the teacher the full picture,
Yes.
then they're like, okay, yeah, your kid's just complaining because they don't want to write the spelling words. Too bad, so sad.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to go and be a little bit vulnerable and let the teacher know, like, no, this is what's happening. And then the teacher's like, oh, okay, no, that's way different than what I was imagining in my head, right?
Yeah, because teachers care about their students. They really care about their students. And they know like the emotional state, like they know that emotions are a huge part of learning. And so when you go to the teacher and you tell them that your child is having this huge emotional reaction, they are going to work with you. They are. Because emotions are a huge part of learning. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Emotions are a huge part of learning.
Now everyone together.
And they do not reflect on you as a parent, your kids' emotions. They don't.
We'll be right back after a quick break. Hey, Aubrey here, and I wanted to share one of my favorite gifts to give during the holiday season, a Storyworth book. It is the most amazing gift ever. Storyworth is an online service that lets you create a special and unique gift of someone's story. I've given Storyworth books to both of my parents, and it has been their favorite gift, hands down. And did I mention it is so easy? Storyworth emailed my parents questions every week that I handpicked from their massive list of questions that they have. All my parents had to do was open their email and answer them. That easy. I asked my dad questions like, did you have any rules that you set for yourself as a parent, which you immediately broke? And he did. I even asked both of my parents, are you more like your mom or your dad? And they shared a lot of really amazing qualities that I didn't know about my grandparents at the time. Then at the end of the year, Storyworth compiles all of their answers, puts them into this gorgeous book that covers everything. My parents love showing us their books, and I personally love getting a chance to read them. With Storyworth, I am giving those I love a thoughtful and personal gift from the heart that preserves their memories and stories for years to come. Go to storyworth.com/NGM and save $10 on your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/NGM to save $10 on your first purchase.
My son is playing a game right now on his computer where he's a thief and the cops are after him. So I'm so excited about this new app, Give As We Grow, where instead of being the quote unquote bad guys, kids are practicing giving back.
That is so cool, Joanne. I really wish that there was something like this when my kids were younger that got them excited about giving back to others and helped them build a better understanding of what it really means to volunteer.
Give As We Grow is the first of its kind free educational mobile app for children ages 8 to 11 that teaches kids via fun, service-focused minigame quests to tap into their unique talents and interests to help others.
And did you know that studies show that there is a biological connection between generosity and happiness, and that volunteering improves people's physical and mental health? I mean, kids who volunteer typically do better in school and are less likely to engage in risky behaviors. And that is something that I think we all want for our kids.
Ready to spark a new movement in generosity? Find and download Give As We Grow for free in the App Store for Android and iOS. And for resources for the whole family, visit giveaswegrow.org.
Yeah, my emotions don't reflect upon, I know my kids don't take my emotions and be like, oh, well, my mom acted this way because it was my fault. No.
So we have 3 steps so far. Look at the time, 10 minutes per grade level. You shouldn't have to reteach. Look at the task. If it's busy work, just ask for clarification from the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And number 4.
Dun, 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 dun.
You shouldn't need a PhD to figure out the homework task.
Yes.
There's I hear a lot, and I hear from a lot of you that the homework expectations are not clear. You don't know what your child needs to do every night to complete their homework.
Tell me this. Have you read your children's homework before and then reread it and then read it again? And then said, okay, I'm going to stop, walk away, come back, read it again. And you still don't understand what your kid was supposed to do? And neither does your child?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the red flag.
You shouldn't need a PhD to figure out what they're supposed to do in homework. So what does that mean? Well, it means that something in the homework communication process was unclear. It doesn't mean that you need to keep trying to figure it out, but an email to the teacher could do well. Mm-hmm. Or even better, just have your kids circle it and be like, I didn't understand.
Right. Because again, it's all about that communication, right? Just having your child not do it doesn't help the teacher.
Yeah.
They don't understand what happened there. And if there's one thing that I have learned, it's that trying to reach out to communicate with the teacher is a huge help. And even though the teacher may not be on the email right then and there, I always get an answer back from them before school starts again.
Yeah.
So depending upon what time I email them, right? Like if I email them right, because let's say we're a family that lives 5 minutes from school or whatever, we do our homework right after, the teacher's still online, I'll get an answer pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. But worst case scenario, I always get an answer in the morning. And even if, let's say, we didn't write on the paper, mm-hmm. didn't understand the homework, that's why we didn't do this problem. If I were to at least email the teacher and say, hey, I told my son to let you know this is why he didn't do that problem, but in case he didn't,
Mhm.
I'm reaching out to let you know as well. The teacher will, I've always heard back from the teacher of like, oh, okay, got it.
Mhm.
Because it's that communication, right? That makes a big difference.
It is a communication, but I would say like you don't even need to go that far. I would put more of the responsibility on your kids than following up. Like if your kids have been, if you've told your kids, hey, like tell the teacher you don't understand this, and then backed off, it's now in your kids' court. If they don't tell the teacher they understand it, they're not going to get help on that problem. Because here's something else that might happen. If you have been used to really like coaching your kids through homework and making sure they do every problem, your kid has gotten to the point where they say, I don't understand. And then they have their parent go and figure out the entire homework process for them so they don't have to.
I do see that.
That responsibility has been taken away from them. It makes their life much easier. They would much prefer it that way, where they could sit back, play Roblox, and have mom figure out what they're supposed to do for homework.
Wait. So you're telling me as a 41-year-old person, I shouldn't be going to my mom to answer my questions for me? Crap, I've been doing this wrong. Mom, I am so sorry.
But
No, you're right. Like,
Yeah.
the way you just said that, I just applied it to me. Like, when I have a problem, do I call my mom and dad still to have them help me fix
No.
it? Sometimes.
And you
But not all
might-
the time. No.
you might get pushback. You might get a lot of pushback when you start doing it this way. You'll see some temper tantrums because your kid has been used to you taking care of the problems in homework. And it's okay if they fight back. You can tell them something simply being like, you know what? I haven't been doing the best thing for you. I know that when you grow up, you need to solve problems on your own. And so I need to let you solve this problem on your own so you get practice in it.
Right. And that's not the same thing as walking away from your kindergartner that needs you to read their homework to them.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. That's like telling a third grader or a fourth grader who doesn't understand the homework assignment that, hey, circle this problem and go ask your teacher in class. Because here's another thing that'll happen.
Mhm.
If you refuse to help, sometimes they'll be like, no, I can't tell my teacher I don't understand it. And they will figure out that problem on their own.
The more successes your child has at working through a problem, the more they're going to be able to reflect back on it, or you're going to be able to help remind them, hey, did you figure out your homework last time? Did you figure out this problem last time? Remember when you had this problem? And when I'm saying problem, I'm talking about universal problem, right? It doesn't have to be schoolwork, could be whatever. But remember where you had a challenge or a problem before and you figured it out? You can do this, buddy.
Yeah. And they build up their confidence that, yes, I am a problem solver. I can figure out my own problems. And the temper tantrums become less and less and they get greater confidence. So it's a win-win.
Yes.
It's a win-win. So those are the 4 things to do if you are worried if your kid has the right amount of homework. Now, if you're still feeling, and I bet you are still feeling like, oh my gosh, this whole virtual schooling and homework, it is really dragging me down and I need a lot more help. I would love to connect with other parents. I need to feel better about this. If this homework stress were taken away from my life, oh my gosh, life would be so much better. So we want to invite you to sign up for our live event happening the week of January 25th. It is called Homework Simplified. And what it is live sessions with me and Bree. We come on live in the group. We answer your questions of homework and we give you some very, very actionable things that you can do. People who attended this in August, oh my gosh, they loved it. We had so much fun. We had dance parties and they walked away having like a toolbox full of things that they could try with their kids in regards to homework. So come and sign up. We have the link right here in the show notes. It is the week again of January 25th. And come meet us. We want to meet you.
And we want to help you get that support that you need.
And it's all online from the comfort of your own home, obviously.
I know, right?
Because we can't go anywhere.
Because that's our lives for a little while, people.
That's our lives. Hey, if you've enjoyed this podcast, can you share it with people? We would love to get the word out about the No Guilt Mom podcast. Share it. Let your friend know. Anyone who needs some encouragement in their life. And while you're here, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
Are you looking for something to listen to with your whole family? Then check out 6 Minutes, produced and created by Gen Z Media. With over 200 twisty, cliffhanger-filled episodes, 6 Minutes tells the story of 11-year-old Holiday who was pulled from the icy waters with no memory of who she is or where she came from.
3 years ago, Brinley Pasternak helped the Anders family uncover the truth about Holiday's past. Now she'll need them to help her find the truth about hers. In 6 Minutes Out of Time, the long-awaited sequel, Cyrus Anders is found unconscious near the mysterious Elixir Academy in Florida, and Brinley learns the school may have a shocking connection to her missing mother.
Dive in now and get the most downloaded family audio adventure in history. Follow 6 Minutes wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen early and ad-free with the GZM family subscription.